97.5 FM, where real conversations meet real people. I am Moya Steving.
And I am Paul Oblomugbasa.
As always, it's a joy to have you join us for another engaging edition of the program that shines a spotlight on the issues shaping our communities, our policies, and our future. Now, today, we are diving into a topic that might sound simple on the surface, but that actually speaks volumes about our education system, our teaching methods, and even the way we prepare our children for tomorrow. We are focusing on a bold step recently taken by the Anambra State government, that is the banning of the practice of writing assignments in textbooks. Yes, assessing the Anambra State example of banning the practice of writing assignments inside textbooks. And we are asking the question, should Bayelsa State adopt this policy too? Now, let's pause for a moment and think about this. For years, it's been common practice in many schools for students to write their answers directly inside their textbooks. It seems harmless, right? But the reality is that once those books are written in, they lose their reusability. Yes, families are forced to buy new copies year after year, and schools lose the opportunity to pass books down to other students. Beyond the financial implications, some argue that this habit limits the development of proper note-taking and critical thinking skills.
Now, a number states government decided to change that by prohibiting the practice altogether. The stance is that their textbooks should remain clean, preserved, and usable for longer, while assignments should be done in notebooks or exercise books instead, as it was in the times before. Supporters of this policy say it's not only cost-saving, but also helps instill discipline, neatness, and academic culture in our students. Critics, however, argue that implementation might be difficult and that students, parents, and even teachers may resist the change. After all, they say change is always resisted at the beginning. So the big question for every one of us this morning is this: should Bayelsa State adopt this policy too? Can a ban like this help reduce the financial strain on parents, guardians, and improve the quality of learning for our children? Or will it just become another policy that looks good on paper but struggles in practice?
And to help us about this issue, we are honored to have with us today a seasoned educationist, researcher, and university lecturer, Dr. Napoleon Bodi. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Good morning.
Now, Dr. Napoleon Bodi has, years of experience in the academia and a passion for shaping the minds of tomorrow. And he will be sharing his insights on what this policy really means, how it can affect teaching and learning, whether or not it's something Bayelsa should consider adopting. Now, to you, all listeners, this conversation is not just for policymakers or educators. It's for you, the parents, the students, and every Nigerian who cares about the future of education in our country. After all, the classroom is where tomorrow's leaders are shaped. And as always, we will want to hear from you. We'll open the phone lines later for your contributions, so we get ready to share your thoughts. Do you think banning writing inside textbooks is the way forward? Or do you believe it's just another distraction from the bigger issues facing education? Stay with us, because this is Let's Talk Nigeria. Once again, Dr. Bodi, thanks for joining us. Can you briefly help us understand the thinking behind Anambra State's decision to ban writing assignments directly inside textbooks?
Well, good morning, listeners. Once more, my name is Dr. Bodi Belinga, please. You didn't put that name there.
Okay.
Yes.
Apologies.
I pardon you for that. My name is Dr. Bodi Belinga Napoleon. That's my name. Good morning, dear auditors and auditories. Okay, listeners, I would say, of Golden FM 97.5. And I am delighted actually to be here with you on this educational program today. We shall actually be talking about about this discussion. Very important, very pertinent issue that touches every families, especially in these tough economic realities. This time, the economic system is very, very tough. You and I know about that. I am actually an AZ2 man. Are you given, we are very clear people. We are people, very intelligent people. You don't put us into what I'll call piège. Are you telling me to flow from my point of view, or are you going to interlude me so that, I make my salary from my little salary, say, from talking.
From talking, yeah?
Yeah, you know that.
I get it.
I know how to talk. So are you allowing me to flow?
Oh, you're right. It's you are the one in charge. Yeah.
One of the things that while you're flowing, there are times for us to get to interject.
Yeah, of course.
And ask questions, of course.
Of course.
No problem. I agree with you. So the topic today to be discussed is assessing the Anambra State example of banning the writing of assignment in textbooks, right? Should Bayelsa adopt this model too? Well, I want to talk from the point of view as a parent, because I buy books, I pay fees, so I'm paying somewhere. I know this topic is, like I said, it could be a piège. A piège is a trap, please. Yes, a piège is a trap, The Frenchman says piège. The Englishman says what? Trap. Sometimes it's a trap. I hope you're not putting me into a trap, because some people, it will favor some people, it will disfavor some people. But I want to take my stand as a parent, as someone who pays books, So it's going to cause some level of amertume. Well, the Frenchman will say amertume, some bitterness. It's a very, I want to say, it's a très fragile topic to discuss, right? And I mean to say, amertume is going to be a little bit heavy, but we have to say something. Amertume, it has to do with bitterness.
Okay.
When I say amertume, it's bitterness. It's going to cause some level of bitterness to some listeners, some people, but I want to take this stand as a parent. The mentality of a person defines the level of productivity.
True.
The level of prosperity and progress in life. Do you agree with me? My father told me, when you do not think, you will stink. And when you stink, you will sink. My father told me that. And so we need to think. Critical thinking is needed here. Do you agree with me, sir? Now, it is the level of your mental renewal that determines the measure of your success in life. And it is your mental capacity that determines your wealth. What are you thinking? The money you are using to buy textbooks can be used for some reasonable things in the family. If this policy is adopted here, there is nothing conceivable in life that is not achievable. Only use your mind productively, okay? Only productivity or possibility thinkers sees the way forward. Do you believe me, sir? To that effect, I want to say, okay, you will agree with me that the rising of cost of education, especially the constant buying of new textbooks, has become a very heavy load for many parents. You agree with me that? Now, recent time, like I also make a findings when this topic was given to me, I say, let me just dive into what the Anambra State is saying about that. So Anambra State introduced a very wise policy. To me, I'm talking as a parent that buys books, right? Yes. Now, banning students from writing in their textbooks so that the same books can be passed on to siblings of the same family. I want to say this model is worth looking at closely, if you ask me, because as an elder says, wisdom spends once and eats twice. Yes, it should be adopted, if you ask me. If I'm to say, it should be adopted. So you see, in our discussion today, I will be sharing this, situation or this topic based on some advantages of reusing textbooks. And I'll be talking about some practical advice for school owners, because I know this will cause some level of amertume, like I said, to owners of schools. And I want to also talk to parents a little bit, and then I want to remind us of the power of preservation. Now, at the end of my discourse, I will see that one textbook can educate not just one child, but an entire family.
Okay,
is
so
well managed.
okay, so yeah, we would like you to just let's take the questions one after the other, like so that we can interact.
It's okay.
In your view as an educationist, what problems, what would you say this policy would solve? The problem this policy would solve, as regards the Anambra State situation? And do you think this ban will truly help parents save money and reduce the pressure of buying new textbooks every year?
What I want to say here that reusing the same textbooks across siblings is not only a family strategy, but also a social policy that directly addresses the realities of today's harsh economy. The directive by the Anambra State government reported, as it was reported by Daily Post Nigeria and the Guardian Nigeria, banning pupils from writing in textbooks is a model worth replicating across Nigeria. Come to talk of Bayelsa State, talking about our present economic reality. Yeah, it encourages preservation, reduces waste, and relieve parents of the heavy financial burden of constantly buying new books each term. As the elder says, wisdom spends, like I said, once and eats twice. So I am of the opinion that it will do a lot of good to parents than pains, if you ask me.
Okay, so with this now, how does this policy affect students' learning outcomes in real terms?
Well, I want to say that primarily I want to look at it from how it benefits parents. I want to look at it as it will affect parents for good. Now, financial relief for families. Do you know that parents save money each session, making education more sustainable if this is adopted in our system in Bayelsa State? Because money saved on books is more than can feed the families. Yes, if you agree with me. If you allow me to continue, I will talk about continuity of learning. What do I mean by that? Children from the same household benefits from consistent materials, enabling pair-to-pair learning at home. Because when the path is familiar, the journey becomes easier. Do you agree with me, sir?
Yeah, because what you're saying there, just remember that those days when we had books like the understanding mathematics and everything, textbooks that were used from your elder ones, you pass to the next person.
Yes.
Could explain it and
Yes.
even get better.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
That's what I mean by that.
So at what point did we change from this, from what we were doing before? Because I knew when I was growing up, I used intensive English textbook. In the primary school, that reader, the English reader, the Agbo, that lives in Calabar. Macmillan, that's right. So
Yes,
we had
Macmillan.
Macmillan, and we have exercises in those books as well. But then we had notebooks separate from those.
Two A's
yeah,
and two B's.
yeah. So we do assignments on those notebooks, and then my younger sister, when she gets to the next class, went to the class I was before, she gets those books. So we learn to keep those books, neatly, for the younger ones to inherit and use the books. But these days, they provide little spaces inside those textbooks and force the kids to write directly inside the textbooks so that you, the younger one, cannot use those textbooks when you get to that class. And it is draining to the parents. I want you to just freely speak on those areas.
To start up on that point, I want to say that you see, you have the child to write assignment right in the textbook. The spaces, you agree with me, the spaces, we're all writers. I'm a prolific writer. And as I'm writing, I am looking at the space I'm going to provide for this kid to write in there.
Yeah.
I'm a victim. So I wouldn't want to agree to this fact because I am a writer. Let truth be told. You and I know, Moye, you and I know that when we're writing, we do not have enough space. Today, you give a little space to that child to write, and you see that you, in other words, trying to minimize the writing skill of that child. Sir, you will believe with me that because of this practice, today, our students, even the university system, since it wasn't practiced in the early age or in the early years of the secondary school, the students do not have competent skill in composing a good essay. You know, when you are allowing the child to write on that small space,
Limiting him.
limiting the child's skill of writing. So at the end of the day, you see the child is not able to compose, to write a composition. You know, we are not giving spaces for the child to really write a comprehension passages.
Yeah.
So it's just one little space you're giving to the child to write. And the child goes on with this practice throughout the years in the secondary school, and he comes to the university, test him, ask him to write a comprehension passage, a comprehension on a piece of paper. He's not able to write. What are you doing to the society? Are you giving education? You know, there's a saying that says that it's either you are a teacher or you are a cheater, sir. It's either you are teaching or you are cheating. Do you know? If you analyze these two words, teaching and cheating, they are almost the same autograph you have in teaching, the same autograph you have in cheating. So are we here to cheat the students and parents, or we are here to teach? To further portray my point, I said this policy should be adopted in Bayelsa State because it improves family bonding, sir. Okay? Because older siblings can tutor younger ones effectively with the very same textbook they once used. This will help because a hand that has turned the page can guide another to wisdom, sir. Do you agree with me?
Yeah.
Yes. The hand that has turned the page can guide one or another to wisdom. What about environmental sustainability? Environmental sustainability.
Yeah.
Okay. When your environment is sustainable, it goes a long way to help your society. What do I mean by that? You know, extending the life of a textbook reduces paper waste. Do you agree with me, sir?
That's true.
And promote greener habits in schools. To preserve the earth is to preserve the future of our children. Sir, today, in my secondary school, even today, if I go into my bookshelf, I can lay hand on my secondary school books. I left secondary school since 1997. I still have those books. What am I doing with them? Can't I give it to someone who needs them? They are very neat. Can't I give it to somebody to benefit them? To be benefited there? You know, my university books, they are still intact. What am I doing with them? Can't I give them to someone to benefit it? Okay. What about the home library? No. Home library for posterity. Families slowly build collection of textbooks that future generation can consult. At home with books is a home with light. Do you agree with me, sir?
You know, why you're saying these things, I'm just thinking that on the aspect that because some persons are saying there's a value chain in this whole matter.
Okay.
Now, there is the place of the school owners.
Okay.
There's a place of the publishers.
Okay.
And the parents.
Okay.
So this is a trial. This was happening.
Okay.
Now, do you also, because now with this new level now, do you think that the publishers now are going to be the ones that are going to be shortchanged because those are the ones that are like, okay, they're the one publishing the books, and it's as though they are in collusion together with the school owners.
Yeah.
Because there's like a percentage. Because every day, every term, there's a supply of new books and all of these different things. Do you think that they'll feel shortchanged with this policy?
I want to look at this from this point.
Okay.
You know, see, they will say, school owners probably, or the publishers will say, okay, books may wear out quickly after repeated use, right? But I want to also counter it by saying, he who mends today prevents loss tomorrow. And the same publishers are also parents. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Now, publisher can come out and tell us people lose the chance of the chance to make personal note in textbooks. Okay, I want to also counter that exercise books are for writing, sir. Exercise books are for writing, sir. Textbooks are for preserving. Do you understand? And another publisher can come and say some publishers and the booksellers may resist because it reduces their sale, like just rightly pinpointed here.
Yeah.
But I want to counter this by saying true wealth is not in selling more, but in saving wisely, sir. What do you have to say about that?
That's
And saving wisely.
That's pretty interesting.
If you hear me well,
Yeah.
I take it again. Get it well. I say some publishers and booksellers may resist because it reduces what? Sales.
For them, yeah.
For them. Okay? But I want to counter that by saying true wealth is not in selling more, but in saving wisely, sir. The majority of the people who are getting these books, buying these books, they need to save. Then you, the publisher, should know that true wealth is not in the selling of the book. What are you selling? Is it knowledge you are selling that cannot be preserved, that you want to change at all times? Okay?
Because I just can't imagine that the textbook, as a father, the textbooks I bought for my son cannot be used by my daughter. My son now is in primary 3, the daughter in primary 2. The books that he used in primary 2 cannot be used by her because he has written inside those textbooks.
Yeah.
There is no way she can use them and attempt. So the issue is that the publishers are smiling home while the parents are the ones suffering. And the Anambra state government had to identify that, because while we were growing up, all of these things, that's why I asked the question, is it greed that is leading to this? Or when did this whole thing change? At one point, the publishers and school owners begin to say, you know what, let us tweak it a little bit and let us make more money. The government of Bayelsa State, are they aware?
A particular policy that is not good is banned in a particular state. Where do we go? Bayelsa is one of the catch zones. You have to tilt down to Bayelsa. Now we are here. A policy that is not good or is, so to say, banned in your environment, you bring it down here, we need to look at it twice. Very closely, we need to look at it. Now, I want to advise, to me, from my point of view, to school owners that are Bayelsans, mostly Bayelsans, standardize approved text. Standardize approved text.
Yeah.
Align strictly with state government's approved book list for at least 3 years before changing edition.
So that when your son uses it, the other one can come use it within the period.
Good, within the period. So stability in books bring stability in mind. I don't see anything wrong with. I have 4 kids, for instance.
Okay. Let's use that instance.
Yeah. For instance, now I have 4 kids, and my older child is going out of the secondary school, for instance, and I have others coming into the primary school or to whichever level. He's a senior one. I wouldn't see anything wrong for my children to be repeating the same books. It will give me a relief of buying books. Sir, do you believe with me, and you can believe with me, that these days parents are not looking at school fees primarily. They prioritize the payment of books, than the school fees. And that's the reason why, by analysis, as an educationist, I came into Bayelsa State. I wanted to establish a school business. And I realized that if you go into school business, there's that tendency that students that will be driven for school fees will not come back again. Why won't they come back? Because the burden of book buying already is overburdened parents. And so when you drive them for school fees, they won't come back again. Meanwhile, parents have used the money they are supposed to have used to pay school fees to buy book. And parents are not thinking, when the term is commencing, parents are not thinking of school fees. Parents are thinking of, my child is going to buy a book. I'm going to buy a book for my child. And if I don't buy these books, they're not going to be participating in of course, every lesson as it is now, because I taught in the nursery school. I taught for several years in the nursery school, in the primary school, in the secondary school. I am very prolific by the grace of God. I know. And so parents are thinking of, how do I am to preserve, I have to save about 100 and something thousand naira to buy books. What if I have 4 children in the school? I'm to buy for 120 something thousand naira for book, because I am just talking with facts. I used to know that. Parents would buy for the first child, for the second, for the third, and for the fourth. At the end of the day, the guy goes home without having money to pay the fees, which is a priority.
And the books that he bought for them are books that the elder, the oldest,
have used.
Yes, and then he's rebuying them for the younger one.
He's rebuying them for the younger one.
It's a repeated cycle.
And you see, I did mention here that there is a problem of environmental sustainability here. What do I mean by that? You buy the books for people, one, okay? And then the younger one cannot use it again. You drop in a house. What are you to do with these books? At the end of the day, it will be trashed into your bin, and the Voirie come and take them. What is the Voirie? The Voirie, I mean, that big vehicle that takes
the waste.
The waste.
Yeah.
It takes them. If it does not take them, you sell them to, or you give them to the akara woman there for frying akara. Meanwhile, because you are tired to maintain these books, they started decaying there, and they have been patched with cockroaches. And then you are given this book, even if it's free of charge, you are given to this akara woman here, and then she uses it to wrap your akara. The akara say, whatever is a waste there, the environment suffers it. Are you doing good to the environment, or you are doing bad to the environment, sir? So I am of the opinion that the school owner should standardize approved text. So this could be renewed by the edition in 3, 5 years. So we could go there and, okay, this book I'm buying, I know my children are going to use it for 3 years.
Yeah.
And that could relieve you of some kind of financial pains, financial burdens.
Okay, while you are saying this, do you think? I just want to be. Do you think that this option that you just brought now? Do you think that the school owners in Bayelsa can also present this option to
that book? You understand? So I am of the opinion parents come together and then write to the Minister of Education for adoption of this particular educational policy of Anambra State, to give us some relief and to make us to breathe. Let the poor breathe.
So let me ask this question. Do you think which of the let's say, I mean, is it the public or the private schools that are guilty of this? Because a lot of people say, well, let's be very specific about those who are guilty of this. Asking children to buy books. Are the public schools as well doing the same thing, or is just limited to the private schools?
Well, I from my observation over the years, I realized that what we do in the private schools are not obtainable in the government schools. And at the end of the day, you realize that we are saying, so to say, the private schools, we are having the best of educationists dispensing lessons to pupils. And at the end of the day, you see that, take the example of River State. How many private school students are governors? In the House of Assemblies, how many private school students are in the House of Assemblies? You realize that the amateurs and the other big names, they are from either the comprehensive secondary school or from the, what's this other school again? Baptist High School and all that. Are they of the private schools? You realize that most of these things we are doing, we are just doing because we have some kind of interior motive behind them.
Ulterior motive, right?
Ulterior motive behind them. And you see that it is the private schools that is doing this.
More.
And of course, more in the private schools. And of course, I see that, when the booksellers comes around and sweet talk the director.
They come with a pitch.
Yeah, they come with a pitch, to the director, to the directories, and at the end of the day, you are convinced, this book is Queen is what's the big name of the publishers? I don't want to call them.
No.
But let's pause you there. The publishers do not directly go to the school owners. I mean, the privately owned schools. They go to the Ministry of Education during book reviews, and their books are captured in their approved lists. So all of this should be directed to the Ministry of Education. That's what I think. What do you think?
Yes, of course, because before these books have been used by these private schools,
Privately owned schools,
they have been approved by the Ministry of Education. And so I am of the opinion that the Ministry of Education should look at this situation critically. They have to put themselves into the shoes of the people who are buying these books. And they should be aware, or they should come to the understanding that these people who are buying this book, they're not finding it funny anymore, because of the reality of the economy of the system. So I am of the opinion, if I should advise, I want the Ministry of Education to minimize the pumping of these books into the system.
Especially stopping publishers stopping the publishers from providing spaces in those textbooks to force the children to write inside the textbooks.
That's it.
That's what we're talking about.
That's it.
Yeah.
So I am of the opinion that the Ministry of Education should, if there's a way to communicate to the publishers, of course, the spaces providing, like I rightly said here, are not even enough for the child to scramble enough. When he's not scrambling, he's not practicing enough of the writing, you said the child would lost the competence, the skill of having a good essay written. And so I'm of the opinion the Ministry of Education advise, if possible, to book writers or to publishers to avoid. I want to use the word avoid. They may write. They will write. Of course, you and I are a writer. Moye, you are a writer. I'm a writer. Very prolific writer. But we won't stop writing. But the area is avoid doing the assignment right inside the textbook.
So
that's what I'm talking about.
So the younger ones can use it.
So the younger siblings of the same families can use the same book.
But let's open the phone lines now. But even if it is not a younger sibling of the same family, you could decide to say, give it to someone else outside who is not even a member of the family.
Of course.
A child says, my parents can't buy textbooks, and you remember that your son, your daughter used a particular textbook, and you just hand over the book to the other person.
Of course.
But if the books had been written on, right? So you can't hand over those textbooks to those people.
You see, Moye. Right now, as I talk to you, I want school owners to do what I call they should promote book banks.
Okay, we'll talk about that after this because maybe that will be in your recommendations, perhaps. In your conclusion, you give all of that.
It's okay.
But let's open the phone lines now. 0707 747 1522 0912 000 1975. You can send us a message on WhatsApp as well, 0912 000 1975. You can drop your messages on Facebook as well because we are live right here on Facebook at 97.5 Golding FM. What are your thoughts? Make your arguments and let's hear you out. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yeah, I still remain the unchanged Star Perez, reporting from Europa.
Okay, Perez, please go ahead.
Okay. I listen keenly. Kudos to our resource person in the house there. He has speaking unbiasedly, even as a writer, which is commendable. And I think I take something from him. It's not about selling books. It's about saving. Good one. I took that one down. Now I'm taking it to the bank. And the other, stability in books is also stability in mind. God bless you for that comment. Good one. Kudos to you. And to the matter on the table. I think we should handle this as a matter of concern. It's a very serious matter because education is the bedrock of any nation. As far as I am concerned, I don't know if someone else here cares. And this is a very serious. We should adopt this bill. We should embrace it, and we should condole it in all ramifications. We shouldn't see it as something like copy. We are copying from other states. No. Look at it from that angle. We should see it as something that will benefit not only the children in terms of mind stability, also it will also benefit the parents in terms of saving some money for other things to do in the family. Putting the fact that this is a civil service state, I mean, it's a rip-off if you want to look at it holistically. I rest my case this morning. I'm emotional about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so
you.
much. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
This is Angel Roberts.
Angel
Roberts.
Thanks
Yes.
for joining us.
I just want to say something. Not every book that these private schools use that is being recommended by the Minister of Education.
Oh, you
Just
see.
like-
Okay.
Not all, because, sir,
No,
Okay, yeah, well, I'm just confirming.
elaborate, please.
I
Let's
said not all that the Minister of Education approved. Because some books, when you see, some writers will just write it and go to that school. This book is good for children. Maybe the owner of that school just buy it. Now, even the level of the teaching again, the teachers, some of them, secondary school leavers, you see them being employed in these private schools. They don't know how to groom these children. Now, because of say it's a private school, we want to carry our children to that place. Sometimes when I look at it, and we now condemn the government schools that government school is not teaching. While the government school, the teachers are even more qualified than these private schools, but we don't want to take our children to that government school. But my own is that the Minister of Education, any teacher that they post out to a particular school, they need to have a monitoring team to go and monitor. Because sometimes you hear a caller will say, it's only 2 teachers in my community. It's only 2. Why? Maybe there are more teachers there, but because they don't want to go there. So the Minister of Education is supposed to have a body that is monitoring our communities. Whether this teacher is going there, whether this teacher is in his duty post.
Okay.
Good morning. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. I mean, you're already moving away from the topic of the conversation, but it's all right. You quickly dropped that before you ended your call. But let's take more calls. Yeah, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning
My name is Aibanu Ambakidemo. I'm calling from Unopa community.
Okay, please go ahead.
I don't know if any of you have read the book titled The Brave New Schools by Derek Kajos. If you have not read that book, go and read it. A lot of practices are being brought into Nigeria to deliberately cause problem in the educational system. But let me give some recommendations. Teachers should be trained in handwriting and speed writing. Not only teachers, but even the learners, so that they can master how to write very well. 2, they should be able to compile 5,000 frequently used English words. 3, they should go ahead and compile up to 1 million grammatical and meaningful sentences from textbook, newspapers, novels, so that they will be able, this idea of writing in textbook, they will discard it. They will be writing in exercise books, notebooks. And lastly, they should learn how to make notes, take notes, so that ultimately they will practice paragraph writing, essay writing, and become better writers. This idea of writing in text.
Okay.
One last thing. Let's take this call before we go for the commercial break. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Good morning, Oga Paul and Moye. And to your guests, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yeah, Oga Moye, we've missed you for some time anyway.
Oh, I'm back now. Available.
All right. You're welcome. Yes, let me quickly go to the issue of writing on the textbooks. I think that area is worrisome. Because, like as it stands now, I have 3 kids, and I'm to pay 40,000 in
You
their
see?
textbooks.
Every year.
Each term or each year?
Yes, 40,000 for the year. Whereas my son, who is ahead of them, that's supposed to use these books and hand over to discipline, cannot do that. The books, if you come to my house, you see volume of books just being wasted for nothing. At times, the younger ones will just go and see if he wants to do a Skype or whatsoever.
Okay.
The books I bought with so much money.
Okay.
So please, they should work on that. It's not really encouraging. They should work on that.
Yeah.
Yes. And a happy marriage anniversary.
He remembered.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Your guest has really spoken well. Thank
Yes.
you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's take this one. Quickly. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Can you speak up, please? Speak up. Speak up. Speak up.
Your name and where you calling us from?
Okay. Yeah, the man in the studio, I so much thank him for what he
Your name. Your name first. Your name
My
first.
name is Egulubo Andai.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I really abide with what he's saying because we parents, we are suffering. Because according to what he said, you have 4 children and the senior one is ahead of 3. And the junior one cannot use those books that you are buying for the senior one when they are coming up is too bad. So the government have to implement these things for us. The government have to hear this. Let them try to do this thing for the common people. That things that will good for the common people, the government will not do it is too bad. Let them implement this thing in this state. Parents are suffering. Please let them hear the cry of the parents in this time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We
Thank you.
appreciate. We know parents will speak, and maybe we'll proffer some ways, some ways to go.
Yeah.
In the course of rounding off. But let's go for a commercial break. When we return, we'll still take more calls, and then we'll get Dr. Bodhi's concluding thoughts on this matter.
It's your golden moment. 97.5 Golden FM, the gold standard of radio.
Want to grow your business fast? Golden 97.5 FM has got the perfect solution for you. You can locate our radio house at Mike Okpokpo Street, Bansha, Yenagua, Bayelsa States. Whether it's your business, music, event, or special promo, Golden FM has got you covered. So hurry now and let's put your brand in the spotlight.
Are you looking for a great car rental service in Yenogua City of Bayelsa State? Experience the best with AB Mercantile. Premium cars for corporate ride, reliable rides for travels, economy option for daily drive. At AB Mercantile Limited, we offer a range of services. We pride ourselves as being the first resident car rental service provider in Bayelsa State. We offer daily rental services, event car rental services, pickups and drop-offs, escort security services, driver services, vehicle leasing, fleet management for businesses. Mark your calendar. AB Mercantile Limited is launching on Wednesday, 10th September 2025. Visit us at Grace Pearl Plaza, first floor, Opolo Market Road, Yenagua, Bayelsa State. We are open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday to Saturday. Book online at abmercantilelimited.com or call us at 070-749-7212 or email us at info@abmercantilelimited for more information. AB Mercantile Limited, your ride's destiny.
Shining brighter than ever. 97.5 FM, the gold standard of radio.
All right, well, welcome back to the final lap of Let's Talk Nigeria. We're assessing the Anambra State example of banning the practice of writing assignments inside textbooks, and we're asking, should Bayelsa adopt this policy too? And a lot of parents, and of course, have called in to say, look, this should be adopted. In fact, we have to do a petition, yes, to the Ministry of Education. My own thinking, probably that's going to be my concluding thoughts. But let's take a few calls before we ask Dr. Bodhi to conclude. But before we take that call, you were talking about something, wrapping of textbooks and all of that.
The best way we did when we were growing up, at every given time, our parents encouraged that because you had the calendars, the old calendars, you used to preserve the textbooks. And sometimes it also helped to, the textbook we're giving to, we spirit abandoned the textbook. It was good because you preserved it. And one thing for sure is the fact that in every home, you have the science-related courses, and those are doing science, those are doing the commercial, and it is very easy. You just hand over the textbooks, but you have more of the exercise books. So the exercise books were the ones that were even buying more of the exercise books. If you buy more exercise books, it's even cheaper than the textbooks themselves. So now, just suppose with what we have it presently, school fees for some schools, you're having 100,000 naira, and the textbooks are 150, sometimes even 200 more. So, and the children are compelled to get the textbooks, even when you pay the school fees, you must, because the child is deprived of usage in class.
I can tell, Paul, that they can tell you to pay the school fees in installments, but the textbooks you must buy.
It's a must.
It's that capital letter. That's what we're talking about.
Crazy. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, yes.
I love the visit of the doctor and every explanation is making there.
Thank you, sir.
But you see, don't you think we have some problem in the educational system? Now, government do not want to raise public school standards. And that's why people are infiltrating the system, that is the private schools, with all these textbooks. And now you are saying you want to go against these textbooks that are being supplied for children to write directly into their textbooks. In order to preserve it for the next scholar or whoever that is coming into the class. What about the schools? Don't you think we have to bound or limit this private school something in the system?
That would be tough.
Sorry,
that would be tough.
Could not make provision for the public schools.
We're not asking.
Parents.
Okay, so we're not asking. You know, this is a capitalist world, a capitalist environment state. So we can't. Even in the U.S., you have privately owned institutions, privately owned schools, and they're doing schools, and they're doing pretty well. So we can't advocate the banning of all of this.
Sorry, in Nigeria we have more poor persons than the rich ones, and it's only the rich that can take their children to private schools. Now, what do you do about the public schools?
Okay, so what we're going to do is to make sure that both the public and the privately owned. So that thank you very much.
Point noted.
Yeah.
Point very noted.
It is to strike a balance. It would not. I won't be of the opinion to ban schools.
You know, we have a lot of people in Nigeria. We have millions.
The moment you ban private schools, you know, even the so-called government schools cannot accommodate.
Yes, of course.
That will be
doing that now.
Okay, so let's get this to call now before we round off. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning, please.
Morning.
Can you make it brief?
Your name?
Justin.
Lawson?
I'm Nicholas Justin.
Okay, Nicholas. Okay, please.
Really, the guest speaker has spoken a lot. Major problem we are having in this private schools. A lot of them don't even follow curriculum. And they teach the students just randomly. So if really for this matter, if government will really bound it, how we parents, we are going through a lot. So please, let the government look into this. In our days when we are growing up, we pass textbooks. We do it. I don't even know whether it's free scholarship. I don't know. It was very easy for us. But in these days, you buy one. So let the government look into it. Let them follow the curriculum. That's another problem the private schools are having. They don't follow curriculum. They bring any textbook, changing textbook here and there. And the curriculum is still the same thing. The textbook are changing here and there. So please let the government look into it. We parents are going through a lot. The money is not there to be buying one after the other. So let them stick to this state that have done it. Benue State and Imo State. Writing in the textbook is not good at all. So that we can pass it down to the younger ones. That will also help. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
I appreciate your guest.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We appreciate you as well for calling. Okay, so let's see how to conclude and round off this. You were making some recommendations, so let's hear you, Dr. Bodie.
Yeah, before I go into my recommendations, I want to say that, we should evaluate the kind of teachers that we employ in the state. True. A lot of people are coming into the state. Sometimes when I go around, I realize a lot of teachers are not really qualified teachers. You know, if we want to have a better system, educational system, we need to also evaluate the kind of teachers that we employ. You know, personally, when I came as a lecturer in Bayelsa Medical University, my father in the Lord told me go and turn it to something else. When I came, they never believed I'm a Bayelsa. They were asking me, are you a Bayelsan? The interview ground was turned to a mere discussion. They had no question to ask me. They go this way. I said, this is not my area. I was thinking question would have come from my discipline. Where is the discipline? I told them, and then, nobody was a professional in that discipline. They were asking me, what kind of questions do you think? They entered into my trap, and I finished it. Do you understand? Premature and people who are not qualified to be teachers shouldn't be teaching because it is an abuse to the teaching profession. It's a noble profession. It's an abuse to this teaching profession. And I want to say that, you know, in those days you said you repair books, you use calendar to wrap books. Now, this day, if we are having that habit, you know, repair bookshop or workshop, you know, our children should be taught how to care for our books, for their books. Repair day to be fixed, torn books or worn-out books. If you teach the child how to repair his books. You know, sometime in the university, I realized that somebody was repairing books. When I realized that this can happen, my dictionary that the vertebral column is bad. I have to take it to this young man. He repaired it for me. And till today is there with me. So people should be made to understand that books can be repaired. You know, I want to say that, cover these books and it will be okay for us. Teach your children the responsibility. Instruct children not to write on or doodle in their books. Do you understand? The mark of discipline is respect for common properties. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So store books, store books safely. Teach them to store books safely. Create a family book log, promote sharing culture, and that will go a long way to preserve these books. A book preserved today is a treasure for tomorrow.
Yeah.
When one child reads and passes the book, the whole family gain knowledge and without extra cost. So I'm of the opinion that the state here adopt the Anambra State policy on education.
Wonderful.
That's it.
Thank you, Dr. Baldi, for that. And for me, I just want us to just know that whichever way it is, let's give education the key thing it's supposed to, the key need it deserves. Whether it's private or public, please ensure that. And we can do that, but also monitoring the private schools, monitoring the secondary schools, monitor our schools, and our children will get better. Education is key. And if we invest in it, we'll get the best for society. My name remains Paul Oblomugbasa. Thanks for listening.
Thank you so much, Dr. Baldi, for sharing your insights with us this morning. Clearly, the Anambra State policy of banning assignments, writing assignments inside textbooks has packed an important conversation, not just about education policy, but about the values we are passing on to the next generation. But we've had what we've had today from you reminds us that education is not just about classrooms or books. It's about building habits, discipline, and opportunities that shape future leaders. And so whether or not Bayelsa adopts this model, the bigger lesson is that every state must keep thinking creatively about how to ease the burden on parents, improve the culture of learning, and ensure that our children are better prepared for the challenges of tomorrow. To our listeners, remember, policies may come and go, but the responsibility of raising disciplined, resourceful, and curious children rests on all of us, parents, teachers, communities, and governments. The future of Nigeria depends on values we instill in our children today. Now, that has been Let's Talk Nigeria on Golden 97.5 FM. A big thank you to our guests once again, and to all of you who tune in. Keep the conversation going in your homes, your schools, and your communities, because education is everyone's business. I am Moyo Steving, signing off for now, but stay tuned, because we're bringing you the news update at 10, and don't go anywhere.
Experience the gold standard on Golden FM. You got it. Golden FM. Yeah.